Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm Exhibitions. It's Friday, which means it's King of the Hill Day. And we just saw TT1 take out 5 people in a row. No big deal. It didn't look like he sweat at all. It was fine. And we have him on the line. We have him on Skype. TT1, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you guys?
We're pretty good. Pretty good day at King of the Hill. I always love some King of the Hill days.
I love watching Protoss win.
Hey, axslav, how are you, man?
Good, man. Good.
So 5 wins in a row. How was that? I mean, obviously the easy answer is easy, but like, give me something. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling okay. I felt like a lot of the games were like build order oriented, except the one versus Glon. That was like the only real macro game we had. But against QXC, I don't think he's been playing a lot of HoTS, so I just exploited his build a little bit. He couldn't even defend a 3-gate pressure just because of the proxy reaper. So yeah. that was like a pretty much as much of a build order win as you can get. And against Elvis as well, like luckily he didn't have an overseer, so he couldn't snipe my observer. And then I saw his Spire, so I was planning to go 3-gate X. My bad. I was planning to go 4-gate third base in that game.
Was the Daybreak game?
No, against Elvis. The last game.
Oh, got it, yeah.
So I just wanted to do a normal macro build, almost the same as I did versus Glon. But then I saw his Spire, so I told myself, and he loves making mutas, Elvis. So I told myself he's gonna go for a muta transition, and the push with Immortals is really, really strong right now, especially because of Time Warp. So you can control a lot of space, and makes it very easy to force field, and it's hard for Zerg to like surround your army. So I just did that push, and I got another easy win. But had he gone for Hydras, well, I wouldn't have done that push if he went for like a Hydra Den right away. But I saw the Spire, so that was like another build order win. But yeah, if he goes Hydras, he defends that pretty easily.
So do you run into these guys that you played today pretty consistently on the ladder? Like you pretty much know all their styles essentially? For the most part?
Yeah, for the most part, because I haven't played much on this new patch. I don't think I played any games actually. But Elvis, I played him a lot. Glon, I actually played him today. I don't remember the rest of the players that I played.
You played QXC, then you played Sasquatch, then Glon, then Elvis.
Oh yeah, Sasquatch, we actually play a lot of customs, so I know his style quite well. QXC is the only player that I haven't played, but I know his style from Wings of Liberty, so I have a pretty good idea of how he plays.
Now, a quick question about that first game against QXC. Were you surprised to see him go for Reaper? I mean, obviously you scouted very early on with the probe.
Yeah.
Was that kind of your reasoning, just to scout out for that potential Reaper play? And then once you saw it, how scared were you?
Well, yeah, I scouted. I told you yesterday that I think Protoss always has to probe scout nowadays against Terran. So I scouted him, and I saw his gas, and then I scouted around for Rax. Then he didn't have one as natural. He didn't have one like tucked away in one of the corners in his base. So I pretty much knew that it was going to be a proxy, either Marauder or proxy Reaper. I told myself the odds of a proxy Reaper are much higher because of the new patch changes. So yeah, I was Zealot Stalker opening, pretty standard. And then I decided to just follow it up with like a 3-gate push, because obviously his Rax is out of position, so it's going to be hard for him to like get any units in his bunker, especially like a Marauder or something, because his tech lab and his Rax are in the middle of the map. So I just did that, and plus
no tech lab required for a Reaper, Mr. TT1.
Yeah, it's true. Well, his Rax was in the middle of the map, so the second Rax was probably going to be quite a bit delayed. So yeah.
What did you? I saw you use the Void Rays a lot in that game against
Glon.
A game against Glon. What do you think a Zerg should do against the Void Rays? They seem a lot stronger.
I was about to ask that. That's funny.
Stole your question.
To be honest, I think Void Rays are pretty OP right now, especially in PvP as well. Like, I think in PvP they've like replaced the Colossus's role. Like, people don't go like Colossus all that much anymore. They just go Void Rays, and with a pretty solid gate army composition, because of how much damage you do against armored units. And in PvZ, it's funny because PvZ, I feel like, is the complete opposite of Wings of Liberty. I feel like now Protoss has the Deathball army, and Zerg has to do like strong mid-game timings, and the units that they have kind of allowed them to do that. So the Ultra's got a big buff. So you see a lot of Zergs rushing into Hive, and then they go Ultralisk right away, so they can punish the Protoss or kill the Protoss before they get to the Deathball. But yeah, Void Rays, they're very good all around against Zerg. even if they go for like a mid-game timing, the Void Rays do really well against it. And if they go Corruptors, they're both armored units, so they do very, very well.
Yeah.
And that just allows you to get into the late game safely. Once you're in the late game, you could add Tempest, and that's like a unkillable death ball in my opinion.
So, when your opponent goes Corruptors, have you ever like lost when you go Void Rays? Like, how many Corruptors does it really take?
Unless they have like an econ lead or like a pretty big econ lead that they can trade and remax right after that, yeah. But if you're like in the same, if you're on the same econ as your opponent, even if you're behind a little bit, you can still deal with the armies really easily because it's a very cost-efficient army composition.
Now, in the Daybreak game against Sasquatch, I saw you incorporate that Stalker Mothership type push into his main base. Obviously, a nice move because you can force him to make units and not drones, and of course, you can just get out of there whenever you want. How often do you incorporate that into your PvZs, and is that applicable to other matchups too?
I mean, usually only PvZ, just like you said, is to force Zerg to make units. Pre-patch it was actually a lot better because you could have what's the ability that allows you to detect? I've forgotten the name.
Envision.
Yeah, you could have done that and cleared creep. So it was a good way to have map control and clear creep. And again, you have your mothership core, so you can recall out of there whenever you want. So yeah, I just tried to do a little bit of damage, and I wanted to see if he was going to go for roaches while I was pushing up to his base, just to get an idea of what he was going for. If it was going to be only Lings, then I thought to myself, it was going to be a Mito transition. But then when I saw the roaches, I thought, all right, he's opening standard. And I decided to do a bit of mind games because we played quite a bit. And I usually play a bit greedy against them. So I went for a fake third and I just all-in them after that.
Nice. Awesome. Well, we are running out of time, so we won't have any more games today. Are you going to be joining us on Monday to continue your streak?
For sure.
Awesome. And if you can call out anyone, if you could pick anyone to play for your first game, give us a name and we'll try to make it happen.
Hydra. Get him here.
All right. He said it. You heard it from TT1. TT1, thank you so much for joining us. Before you go, please, where can people find you? And, go ahead and give your shout-outs.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks for casting my games. Hopefully, I didn't play I tried my best, but I don't know if I played that well. But...
You played pretty bad.
Yeah, I know.
It took you like over an hour to win 5
come
games,
on,
man.
What's going on?
Yeah, well, shout out to you guys, of course, for casting me. Shout out to my teammates, my team, Root Gaming. Check us out at root-gaming.com, and thanks to our sponsors, Das Keyboard, Twitch TV, and Rush Order Tees. And if you'd like to follow me, root_TT1 on Twitter.
All right, awesome. TT1, thank you so much for joining us. And again, thank you for commentating White Raw versus Dragon with me yesterday. That was a pleasure. But guys, that was TT1, and that concludes today's Heart of the Swarm exhibitions. Of course, TT1 finishing up the day with a 5-game winning streak. He gets a prize of $50. He's going to be back on Monday to hopefully continue his streak. Coming up next, we're going to have Rules of Engagement with Mr. Axslav, so no reason to go anywhere. He'll see you then.